Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Another great week comes to a close. It's ready for the weekend. Today is Friday, June 11th, 2021. Let's jump right in. Congratulations on making it through another week. I hope you were able to see my Tuesday market update video. I also did a short video that was posted yesterday explaining a little bit about the labor supply shortage and what's going on with that, really about how that's affecting our economy, how it may affect our economy, how it's affecting our markets, and what we need to do about it. So I hope if you get a chance, take a look at that if that's of any interest to you. As always, I want to take a few minutes of your precious time, talk to you with some planning ideas for how we can continue to work together to pursue those goals. I spent some extra time this week trying to figure out exactly how to bring this to you, so I hope it is helpful. I wanted to once again attempt to identify some of the risks that we are fighting against as we try to help you work towards those goals you have. If you watch the Tuesday videos, I don't have to tell you so much about risk. We know about all the market-based risks. I'm not going to revisit those today. Instead, I want to remind you that the real risk is not losing money in the markets on a short-term basis. That is certainly a risk, but that is not the real risk we're fighting. Remember, declines in the markets are usually temporary. We see that as we saw last year's downturn in the market, and we see we're hitting new highs in the last couple of days. Advances in the markets usually tend to be longer and longer lasting. So the risk that we must address, and that is the risk of outliving our money. So that's the one we have to work on a daily basis. What we will continue to try to do is to develop a plan for saving and investing your assets so that that will have what we need to achieve your goals as they come up, short-term and long-term goals. Remember, those goals could be short-term education goals, they could be major asset purchase goals, they could be longer-term goals, long-term retirement. It could also include charitable giving and legacy building goals. So all of those things are going to figure into it. So we got to keep our focus on that. That's where we're going to go. You hear me talk about that every week. I'm going to spend the remaining time I have just running through some thoughts about planning for retirement. This is not just if you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. This is for all ages, because the sooner we get started, the sooner we have these conversations, the better off we're going to be. So in a recent Merrill Lynch study, we saw it was done on Americans between the ages of 46 and 64. They were asked to compare their retirement expectations with those of their parents. And here's some of what they found. If you want more information on the study, just let me know. Happy to share some of that with you as well. 86% of the people studied that were surveyed plan to have a more active lifestyle than their parents did. 84% say that their retirement is going to look different. And 72% say they expect that they will have a higher standard of living in retirement. Well, I got to tell you, I've been reading a lot of surveys over the last 30 years, and I tell you, they all say the same thing. This is not rocket science, right? Of course, we're always going to try to be better than the generation before us. We're going to be stronger and better. We're going to enjoy things more. That's what we do. That's not statistics. That's just fact, is what's going on out there. It's human nature. What's a bit different is some of the details, actually, that were in this study. 70% of the people plan to keep working in retirement. 26% plan to take courses and continue their education. 24% plan to learn a new trade. So a lot of different things that go on. A lot of this, what does this do? It leads us to how do we plan for retirement. I'm going to give you a list of 7 items. I don't have time to dig into each one of them today, but certainly let's make sure we talk about this in our conversations that we have over the next weeks and months when we sit down and meet. So number 1, re-examine the assumptions that you have about what your retirement spending is going to be like. Is your retirement spending going to go up or down in retirement, and exactly what's that going to look like? Number 2, what do you want your retirement to really look like? You know, that really can answer a whole bunch of different ways, but let's talk about that as well. Number 3, what are your travel plans going to look like in retirement? Number 4, is charitable giving going to be part of your retirement plan? Number 5, be cautious about relying on income from part-time work. Now, this is something we'll talk about. A lot of people say, oh, I'll work a part-time gig in retirement. That'll help me pay for this for my grandkids or whatever it may be. And it's something you might want to think about, because the 2 big questions come up is, do I want to do that? And can I physically do that? So those are some things we have to always keep in mind about being reliant on that. Number 6, factor in the impact, speaking of which, of healthcare costs. Again, if we haven't had this conversation yet, you've heard me talk about it on these videos. Long-term care insurance, it's something we need to talk about, and let's make sure we talk about that in our meetings. And finally, should you extend your working years? Again, we talk about this all the time. People are working longer Do you want to work longer? You want to retire earlier? Pandemic's brought that retirement idea a lot closer, so we'll have to see how that is. So these are just 7 of the hundreds of things that we're going to talk about and we'll take into consideration when we work towards your goals. Remember, this is a journey. The way we get there is that we evaluate what you need to do. We execute a plan, we review that plan, and we make adjustments to that plan as it goes along. So that's sort of how we're going to do. We're going to continually work on that. That's a heavy enough group of information to send you into the weekend too. So have a great weekend. I will tell you, for those of you who watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. If you'll allow me, please, to wish my wife and my mother-in-law a happy birthday. Today is their birthday. Monday is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday to her. May you all live and be well and have a great birthday. Many happy returns of the day. Everybody, have a great weekend. We will see you next week.